All right, good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to this afternoon's work session. First order of business is conduct roll call. Commissioner DeMont Davis.
Present.
Commissioner Sana Gregory.
I'm here, sir.
Commissioner Gail Hambrick. Commissioner Hambrick.
She's on mute.
Commissioner Franklin.
Hambrick is here.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Franklin. All right, presently, Madam Clerk, show everyone here except for Commissioner Franklin. All right, next item of business is there any item on the preliminary agenda for the next board meeting that a commissioner would like to discuss? Any items of concern?
No.
All right, hearing none, then we'll go to our one discussion item, which is a request for PSDN portable radios from Motorola Solutions. And I believe Mr. Brookins will give us the presentation. Mr. Brookins.
Mr. Chairman, can I take my mask off?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
So tonight I bring before you a request to consider. One of the projects on the 2021 SPLOST was the replacement of all of our public safety radios. So what we are proposing to do is $2 million of the bonded money was to be put towards the purchase of the radios, with the rest of them to be phased in throughout the SPLOST program. And so what our request is to enter into a 5-year lease agreement with Motorola Solutions, in which they will provide all of the radios up front, so that we may begin dispersing them. It will also add the GPS feature I told you about in my presentation a few months back, and so they'll go ahead and put that in so that we get the benefit of that service immediately. And so the way it works, it will be a $2 million down payment, so that would come from the bonded funds, and then an annual payment of $981,531.56 each year, due on June 1st of each year, starting in 2022 and going with the last payment in June of 2026. There is, part of the benefit is that there is no interest rate on this. It is completely interest free. And so some of the other things it gives us is that it's better batteries, so the batteries will last longer. It adds Bluetooth functionality to all of the radios. Right now we only have about 30 of them with it, which will allow the officers to use Bluetooth headsets. Like I said, it gives us the GPS feature immediately on the radio system. We can start doing updates through the Wi-Fi network here, and so all of our programming, the officers don't have to come into the shop. We can send the program out over the network, and then we get a $325,000 discount because of the amount that we're buying at one time, and then a $325,000 trade-in credit. So all of the radios that we currently have will be traded back into Motorola. So you can see here the allotment. Originally we only ordered 1,010 radios as part of the original PSDN purchase that we did in 2013. This will move us up to 1,288. This will account for the increase in positions that the board has done over the last 8 years, but also sets us up to have spares in the future. And so next steps for this, if you guys, if the board approves, to work with Mr. Reed's office and Mrs. Rogers' office on the procurement. And then once the order is placed, the lead time for the radio is 6 to 8 weeks to get them in. And then we will coordinate with all the department liaisons, and they'll be done replaced in an orderly manner. So that is all I have for you today.
So this request will be on the next agenda for the next board meeting.
I have to work with Central Services to see. I don't know if it'll be on the May 18th one or the first one in June.
Okay, but it's forthcoming.
Yes, sir. As long as you guys provide support for it, yes, sir.
Well, as you well know, I'm definitely in support of this type of technology for our public safety folks. One other question that I had was, a while back, I just want to make sure that we're still doing that, making sure that all our radio systems for the vehicles as well as the portable were interoperable, that they have the capability of contacting other agencies outside of our network.
Yes, sir. That is part of the system. We have 3 or 4 interoperable channels, I believe, on the system.
Good, okay.
It sounds good. When was the last radio purchase made? I'm just curious on the life of these radios right now.
So our last purchase was made in May of 2013.
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
so I would imagine the technology changes with radios like they change with everything
6
else.
months at least.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So
Great.
We'll
So
have better batteries. They'll last longer. It'll be more efficient.
yeah, and they're leased, so we can turn them in when they get new ones, right?
Well, that's not exactly how that
Oh,
works. No,
okay.
this is a lease purchase.
Okay.
And so Motorola, I inquired about that after my presentation when Commissioner Franklin asked about the leasing program. Motorola only offers leasing for like events like the Super Bowl
Okay.
or major events, soccer tournaments or whatever. They don't have municipal leases where we turn them back in after it's over. So at the end of the 5 years, we will own the radios just like we own the radios now.
And as far as the network and updating the equipment, is it done on the standard network that we use, or are they using their own network
So-
or private network, I should say?
No, they're on infrastructure that the county owns. We actually have an agreement with Motorola. It's a 10-year agreement to keep the network updated. And so actually, it was just last June, Motorola came in and refreshed equipment at every repeater site that we have. We have 6 sites throughout the county.
Okay.
So you said the batteries will last longer. What's the life of, before it needs to be recharged?
Well, it just depends on use. It's like your cell phone.
Yeah.
So I think right now they last for at least a shift and so we issue officers the standard radio or the standard battery plus a charger and another battery. And so it will last throughout their shift.
Or don't they last throughout shift now?
They do, but they'll last. Well, I say that they do. They're supposed to, but as the life goes on, the battery life deteriorates over years. So I can't tell you exactly how long. It's not at standard how long it lasts now because each one is a little different.
Well, that's always been a concern because there's nothing like middle of a shift because the radio's always on and there's always communication going on, so that will drain quicker. So if you got more life out of this battery, then that's definitely a plus, so they don't have to be going back and switching batteries. It's nothing like a battery on your radio going off at the wrong time.
All right. Yes,
So-
sir.
Any other questions? Well, hearing none, thank you for your presentation, sir. We will definitely give all due consideration to your request when it comes up.
Thank you, sir.
Any announcements or anything from any commissioners?
Not that I know of.
Hearing none, we stand adjourned. Thank you.